can affect anyone. I mean, he's only human. So, I mean, that's me saying it as a fighter knowing what Roy is doing. Now, and on the other hand, I got to expose that. I got to tell the American media and outside America. I want to redeem my loss to Roy. I lost to Roy 9 years ago, and like any great champions, whether you kickboxing or karate or boxing, it wasn't like he blew me out in the first fight. It was a close. Yeah, I believe I can win back then, but I consider myself being just like any other athlete that becomes a professional. Boxing is the only sport where they don't give you enough credit to say when you turn professional, that doesn't mean you're a professional by trade. It means that you was old enough to turn professional. So in boxing, when you become a professional, to me, you're still a rookie. Like football, basketball, any other sport, they say, well, here comes Kobe Bryant 5 years ago. He's a rookie, but he has potential to be a great Michael Jordan. That's right. Boxing is the only sport where you're not labeled a rookie start off. They'll say, well, you're low experience and things like that. I was low experience with Roy Jones, but being experienced in 1993 with Roy Jones Jr., his first time at a world championship fight, my first time at a world championship, I lost by 4 points. I lost by decision. A loss is a loss. But what have I done since the loss? Have a loss since? Yeah. This is 2002. But it's going, we'll be in 2000, a quarter left in the year, we'll be in 2003. That's going on 10 years. So 10 years being undefeated in a middleweight division where you got all the good talent. It's not like I'm a heavyweight, I can sit around and I'm slow, I can just knock a guy out with one punch. I'm in the middleweight where I'm in the middle of all the 24 weight categories. And Marvin Hagler and the Ray Leonards and the Rams and all them guys, they was great in their era. What I have done in the middleweight, I'm a true middleweight. And 15 defenses. My goal is to do 20. I broke Hagler's record. I broke Carlos Monzon's record. And I'm going to set my own record with 20 defenses. I'm told I'm already, if I stop today, I'm already a Hall of Famer. So I done broke a lot of legendary fighters' records, and I will be remembered as one of the great middleweights that come a long time. That's what the critic says. I take it and run with it. But as far as the middleweight division, can no one, and I repeat, whether it's De La Hoya, and I think about that, there's no one out there weighing 160 pounds, even 154, which is 6 pounds, underneath me. Soon they will be middleweights. Vargas, De La Hoya, any of them guys, even Roy, if he come down at 65 in the middle of me, too strong, too big. I'm too big and too strong.
Do you think you're getting the press like they get? You getting the recognition as that?
Well, renegades never get press. When you self-manage and you buck the system and you do it your way, and then you come out on top, they was forced to give me the press I already received. And that was the thanks of Trinidad. Trinidad, through the boxing media, through the States, United States, through the boxing people, Trinidad was their savior to get me out of the way. You know, I'm self-managed, I'm self-promoted. I continue to keep talking, I never shut up.
You're outspoken.
And I'm outspoken, like Ali in the 60s. Even though it was a different struggle with Ali, you know, there was a lot of other things going on that what Ali was doing. I took a little bit of that Ali, you know, damn if I do, damn if I don't. I've already accomplished, I can't hurt me. I'll take on the whole box with the Don Kings, the TV networks, the promoters, the managers, and say, look, come on with it. Because I had something they wanted. And that was the world belt. I had my first belt in '95, the IBF belt. I've been champion since '95. I've been undisputed. It'll be a year, the 29th of this month. 2 weeks after 9/11. I was in New York. This whole month was crazy of last year. They canceled the fight for 2 weeks later. So I've been champion since '95. So when I beat Trinidad, it was no big thing to me. Everybody else, even the people that thought I was gonna lose, was like, don't you know what you did? Don't you know what you accomplished? I'm like, yeah, I know my bank account is a little bigger, I feel happy there. But I didn't get caught up because I knew I was always the best middleweight. And I knew that I was the best champion out of all the guys that had the belt. Yeah, Keith Holmes had the WBC, William Jobby had the WBA. The tournament made everything come to me. In the boxing world, the wrong guy got all the belts, and that's me.
The whole plan.
Oh, I spoiled millions of dollars. Any boxing fan will know I spoiled over 50 to 60, maybe $100 million, because if Trinidad would have beat me, he would have had the reputation of beating a guy that hadn't been beaten in almost 8 or 9 years. A guy that had 14 title defenses straight. He would have had that in his resume. And being Spanish, and with a big following, a big country behind him, going into the Roy Jones fight, both of those two guys, Roy Jones being at the best he can be, Trinidad would have been at the best he can be. Roy would have beat him. But the money they would have generated through pay-per-view, everybody in this country would have tuned in on pay-per-view and bought it for $40 a head, $40 a household. In the States, you know that would have went to the roof. So yes, I must say that I am a marked man, but I don't care.
I got a question for you. What's your take on Trinidad announcing his retirement? Were you surprised that he did that?
Well, no, and then I'll say this. I wasn't surprised that Trinidad retired, because if you look at the fights that he had, Trinidad, even speaking English, and no disrespect to him, speaking Spanish, no disrespect to anybody in Spanish, doesn't speak well. Anybody that don't know Latin and don't speak Spanish couldn't tell. But I had some close people out of San Juan and Philadelphia talk to Trinidad. He doesn't sound right talking Spanish, you can't understand it. Trinidad has problems, and they don't want to expose that to you, because it would give me credit of saying Bernard retired Trinidad. I retired Trinidad. Trinidad didn't retire because he wanted to go to college, he wanted to spend time with his family. Look, my family would understand if I was Trinidad that I can make $25 million fight me again than retire. It's a health issue. Trinidad has health problems that if he didn't retire, HBO want to do me and Trinidad too, like all great fights. Ali Frazier, 3 times. Alexis Oguayo and Pryor, 2 times.
Well, that's what happened to Benitez.
Exactly. So they felt that everybody was pushing, because they didn't believe that I beat him so easy. Let's not forget, everybody watched the fight. Not only did I beat Trinidad, but I made it look easy.
Right.
So they didn't understand. They didn't understand that, yeah, you beat him, but it wasn't close. It wasn't controversial. It was 11 out of 12 rounds, and then I knocked him out. And the flag issue, they want that blood back. They want that revenge back. So even though Trinidad retired, do you think the people in Puerto Rico is going to let him forget that get Hopkins? That's all I kept hearing in San Juan 2 weeks ago. Get Hopkins, get Hopkins. So I don't have to live with that. I don't hear that at home in Philadelphia. But Trinidad, if he goes and stays in retirement, as long as he lives in Puerto Rico, somebody's going to ask him or tell him or try to convince him, you got to get Hopkins. As they say, Hoskins. They forget the P, but they want to hound him for the rest of his life until he go in the ring, win or lose, to fight me, because people know that I retired Trinidad.
I have a statement. The fight between De La Hoya and Trinidad.
Oh, Trinidad.
Trinidad had lost that fight.
Oscar won the fight.
And I said that when you're going to fight Trinidad, you're going to knock him out.
Thank you.
Because you're a counter puncher, and you fight both ways.
See, she knows. She's a boxing fan. I got 2 styles, a lot of styles.
And you do a lot of baba weaving to make him miss a lot. Okay? And I saw that.
That's why I don't have no scar tissue.
That is right, like my husband.
Yeah. I duck. Tell me you got to duck something.
This is the vice president of the WBO.
The vice president of WBO, Paco.
Yeah.
I just left Paco in San Juan about 2 weeks ago. When you talked to Paco, tell him I was here. I just left Paco down in San Juan. Yeah, in San Juan. It was 2 weeks ago. They had Showtime, had a fight there.
Yes.
Smoke Gaynor. Yeah, I was there. I was there messing with Roy Jones.
She's also on the board.
Are you on the board at WBO?
That's right.
Oh, yeah, WBO.
Yeah.
I got to get that belt. Harry Simon.
Yes.
Y'all champions.
She lives right here.
I live here.
I'm going to get Harry Simon with the belt. No, he ain't better than me, though. I'm the executioner.
Have a fight here in St. Martin.
I get him or Gadazaki. Gadazaki from England, Frank Warren.
I want to meet my husband, Kid O'Neill. French champion in West Indies.
He's the French champion.
Thanks. If you come out of retirement, I can get you. You gotta stay in retirement now. Good to meet you, son. Oh, this you right here?
Yeah.
That's him right in the
Right.
Yeah. I'd rather fight you now than when you was younger. You look kind of big there, man.
When he fought 3 weights, welter, middle, and light heavy.
Welter, middle, and light heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had to fight the tall guys, didn't you?
Yeah,
Because the light heavies was pretty tall.
you did a lot about the real.
A lot about, yeah. You do a lot of Bob and Weave, you'd be able to talk straight.
That's what I saw.
All right, come on, let's take a picture. Get him inside, A lot of bobbing and weave. Do you have her in there? You have her? You got her? Okay, good.
Let me ask you a
Take
question.
care for me.
Roy Jones, that ain't never gonna happen, right? Roy
You never know, but right now, I don't think Roy Jones need me to the point where he can fight anybody he wants to fight.
Right.
And I don't need Roy Jones. I have people to fight. Roy Jones don't have any. You don't have a great competition of.
Take another one.
You don't have a big list of guys he can go up and down. But the world over is want to see me and Roy Jones fight.
You have forgot the flash.
The best 2 pound for pound fighters.
What's that gonna do? Meet halfway?
If we meet at 67.
Okay.
I'm not a light heavyweight.
Right.
So I'm not gonna, why should I put myself at a disadvantage and put on 15 pounds to fight somebody that's been there 6, 7 years who's comfortable? Why put myself in a situation like that? I don't need that. But we can meet in the middle.
Yeah.
We can meet at 168. But I don't think, you hear what she said? Roy can't come down. Roy can't come down and he won't come
I got a
down.
picture from you, right?
Because if he come down to 68,
I got a picture from you.
Okay.
I eat him up, dog. You rather put on 2 pounds than lose 2 pounds.
Right.
You want De La Hoya?
Let me tell you something.
Who's going to win Vargas?
Let me tell you something. The point is, I'm gonna tell you this one minute. Because it don't matter who I want. I ain't being cocky. I'm gonna tell you what's the reason. Hey man, listen to this.
Yeah,
My old grandmother said, right? People say, do you want De La Hoya? Do you want Vargas? I am the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, who beat the biggest fighter in the world, who they had #1 pound for pound. That was Tito, right?
Yes.
Now, when you got the chickens, you don't got to go look for the wolf. The wolf come look for you.
Right.
So I don't need to go look for them because I got the chickens.
Right.
I got the WBA, the WBC, and the IBF.
Still the WBO.
So only thing I have to do is wait, and the wolf gonna come with a chicken barn.
That's right.
So why I got the
They want
chickens?
you, let it look for you.
Ask your husband. Your husband will tell you, when you got the chickens, you don't have to look for the wolf.
No.
The wolf is coming.
Yes.
Wait around, I get you, that wolf be sneaking under that fence, and then I'll say, come on, pay me this much money to fight De La Hoya, this much money to fight Roy Jones.
Right.
If Trinidad wake up and come out of retirement, this much
Now
money.
he's sleeping.
Exactly. I was telling G Money at the radio station, why I am a threat to the boxing system is because I've been self-managed since 1995. And it's very often that a fighter can self-manage himself and not make a fool of himself.
Right.
And be able to understand his worth.
Because you're smart.
You have to know your value.
Yes.
If you don't know your value, not only as a boxer, as a person, if you don't know your value, you will smoke, you will drink, you will use drugs, you'll do everything to hurt yourself because you don't know your value.
Right,
So if you don't know your value, you're reckless. You don't know what you're doing. You make bad decisions. I know my value. And sometimes there's a disagreement about my value compared to the promoter who wants to pay me.
Right.
But I tell them, take time to think about it. Come back when you believe that I'm worth that. And we'll work something out.
Yes.
But to know my value and to be firm with that, I've gained a lot of enemies in boxing because they want you to be done in the bag or in training. I said, no. I said, I want TV revenue, a percentage. If it's a pay-per-view fight, I want certain money from the foreign sales, the Nielsen ratings, the gate. I want to be involved in everything that 80% of us don't even ask for, is entitled to you. Because without us, nobody makes money. Without us, there's no WBC, there's no WBA, there's no IBF, there's no WBC.
That's true.
So the horse that's pulling the cattle or the carriage is to do all the labor. So I recognize what position I'm in this sport.
You lay back.
I am the horse, but this horse going to get paid.
Right.
I'm a different type of horse.
Right.
Because when a horse can't pull it no more, they turn you into glue.
That's right.
You're done. So you're only as good as your last fight.
That's right.
And so I understand that being a people's champion compared to being an industry champion, I'd rather be the people's champion because as great as Ali is, He don't need a belt to walk. If Ali would come off a plane and hit the airport, everybody in this town here would know about it.
Right.
If another heavyweight hit this town, okay, you're here. Oh, Shannon Briggs is here. Okay, great. No disrespect to any other body, but Ali was different. My goal is, I haven't reached it yet, to separate from just being a champion when I'm 40 or 50 years old, than just being, hey, that used to be a boxer, but he was a man, because he stood up when he could have risked his whole career. He could have risked getting the opportunity to fight the big fights and make money, because you know what? Some say because he talked too much, others say because he was too damn smart.
And you'll have to praise this one.
Yeah, which is negotiated in boxing.
Yes.
See, and, you know, Don King and all them, they all not bad. They just greedy.
Yes.
How much money do you need?
Somebody can know more.
If you work all hard for the money, and you ruin lives, and then you die, and then the people that get the money, they swallow it up. They don't treasure it the way you want to treasure
When you
it.
go to the 40 million, then we talk about not liking the money.
Yeah. 28. My goal is as a middleweight. I'm at 15, right?
Right.
I'm 37.
Right.
Believe it or not, I'm 30. I don't hide my age. I'm 37, and to have 43 fights. I've never been the handsomest looking guy in the world, but to have 40 plus fights, and at 37, I can look at a lot of young fighters that's in their 20s who don't look half as good as Bernard Hopkins. And a lot of that got to do with less mileage on my body, less hard fights. I made a lot of fights in early, and if they didn't end early, I won majority of them rounds and really punished the other guy. I've been fortunate.
So you goes 50? How many fights? What's your goal?
My goal is to do 20 defenses.
20 defenses. Okay.
So 20 defenses will bring me at 20 title defenses as a middleweight. No one had ever done that.
And you're at 15 now, right?
I'm at 15. No one. Let me tell you something. It took 38 years for me, or for someone like myself, to come along to break Monzon's record. And he heard of Carlos Monzon from Argentina. 30 plus years, man. Because fighters today don't stay at one weight class. He'll tell you, soon as they get a little money, they get tired of running. They get tired of starving themselves and sacrificing like they used to. When you was hungry, you used to get up 5:30. When you get 10 million, you get up 8:30.
With that in mind, who's your pick?
has
De La
a name.
Hoya and Vargas. What's your feeling on that?
Oh, De La Hoya. I like De La Hoya to outsmart the younger guy. I like De La Hoya. De La Hoya is in for a fight, but I like De La Hoya to outsmart Vargas. I believe Vargas will let his emotions and his immaturity as a young upcoming fighter play a role when things don't go his way. And I think the experienced guy has the advantage leading into the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th round. No knockouts in this fight. Just a boxing lesson. They in this one?
Quick, John.
It's the only fight I ever lost in my
Who
house.
this?
Kenny Style.
Kenny Style, yeah.
Yeah, country.
Did he knock you out?
Now, some say I beat him. That's Buddy Mugger. That's it.
Oh, that's Buddy when he was 140 lightweight.
Yeah, he's training now.
Yeah, he's a good trainer.
Yeah,
He got a Turner Gaddy, and he got a Turner Trump.
I think he was with that heavyweight too. What's his name? But I retire now. I'm trying to get around with these.
Get the kids, that's right, man. That's what I'm gonna do when I retire. I'm gonna get like him. I'm gonna get a little stomach. I'm gonna get a little stomach and retire. What's up, man? Introduce.
These come, the boxers, all the box girls and
All the
boys.
boxers, the girls.
This is all of them. Yeah,
Sweating.
this is all of them. Yeah, the crew's not.
You're a helper too.
Yeah, he helped train me. That's a former boxer. I'd like you to have a word with my fighters,
Okay.
all the young fighters.
You got everybody? What about you? Got one more back there? Is she part of the boxing or?
Who's that? No.
Discipline. Training. Run. No candy. I know y'all eat candy. Candy is bad for you. Who eat candy? Raise your hand. I know that. Yeah, come on. You eat candy? Candy is bad for you. Once in a while. All right, no one's do it once in a while. But it's bad for you next time. You want to be strong. You want to be able to compete. You got to try to get a good, not a diet, but good food. You know what I mean? Instead of eating candy, you get it in Pop-Tart. That's good. I eat Pop-Tarts. You eat Pop-Tarts? Don't eat Pop-Tarts? All right. All right, let me give you a little background for those who don't know or didn't see the fights when I fought Trinidad. And for the ones that betted on Trinidad, thought he was going to beat me, But I am the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. I've been boxing as a professional for about 14 years. I started off as an amateur. I was like 8 years old, all the way up to my early teens, like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, around that age. I started boxing. In the States, they got a recreation center sort of like this called the PAL Club. It's a police athletic league where they get youth off the streets from getting in trouble, and after school programs. I would go to a gym. A police officer one day see me fighting on the street, and I was beating the guy up real good, and he was a cop, but he did boxing on the side. Like he got the young youth to go and box in the PAL Club. So I start winning tournaments. I mean, some of y'all in tournaments now where y'all compete against other guys that that's in your weight class. I start doing that. I start winning amateur fights, and then I became professional. And once I became professional, I lost my first fight by decision. And then I said, man, I got to train hard. I got to always think that I can win, and just do everything that I didn't do the first fight when I lost. Never to make that same mistake again. And a lot of it has to do with being disciplined. So I started training harder. Remember, I lost my first pro fight. I could have just gave up. I could have just said, man, I lost, I tried hard, and I found an excuse to give up, but I still went to the gym. I got another fight, I knocked the guy out. I got a third fight, I knocked the guy out. I've been knocking everybody out since 1993. I lost again to Roy Jones Jr. You heard of Roy Jones? I lost a decision. Then I said, man, I don't like to lose. So I went on and won. From 93, I went on and won all the way up to now. So you want to, not that you want to be a boxer, but if you want to be a great athlete, a great trainer, a great boxer, kickboxer, whatever you want to do in sports, always remember, whatever you put in is what you get out. If you don't put time in, like you're in the gym now, you could be somewhere doing something, getting in trouble. Whatever you put in here, like school, whatever you read and continue to read, you become smarter, you become brighter. You better do things for your family, you better do things for yourself. When you all become grown adults, y'all be able to take care of your family and be able to have an education. So always remember, when you put hard work in, you will see good results. If you don't, you're going to see bad results. Because you're going to run into a person like me that train hard, that study hard, and it's going to be your worst nightmare. So always be ready, always think, always be a leader, not a follower. And of course, you already know, because you're old enough to know, that anything that's bad for you, drinking, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff, seriously, man, it's not good. Cigarettes, it's not good for you. You can't hit that bag for 20 minutes and you're getting tired if you do things that's going to hurt you. You can't even do it if you're not in shape, let alone if you put poison in your body, you won't be able to get the best things out of your body that your body has to offer. So I'm all the way from Philadelphia. Y'all heard of Philadelphia. And I'm supposed to be on vacation. And I don't mind taking my time out to spread some of my wisdom as the champion of the whole world, including this world. The whole world. There ain't no two worlds now. It's this world and over the States world. So it's one world. To come here to give y'all my time and let y'all know that I've come here to let y'all know, to motivate y'all to continue to be good to yourself, respect your coaches, respect your teachers, and respect each other. And I'm good to see y'all here working, man, because back home, a lot of young adults and young teenagers your age, a lot of them need stuff like this to do. And so I'm glad to see in St. Martin's that y'all ain't sitting on the pretty beaches swimming with y'all little swimming shorts on. Y'all here training and sweating, all right? So keep working out, man.
Okay, one personal question. I heard
You got a
that,
question?
that Trinidad retired because you don't want to give him a return match.
No,
How true is that?
that's not true. Trinidad retired because they was trying to do a rematch. HBO was trying to do me and Trinidad too. Like all great fights, they normally fight 1 or 2 times. Trinidad made an issue out of money to have the excuse to retire because Trinidad knows he's not physically and mentally ready to fight Bernard Hopkins again. That's why he fought Hassan Sharifi, and that's why he didn't want to fight me right back. I wanted to fight Trinidad right after I beat him. Trinidad instead fought somebody else.
To be honest with you, I saw him fight Sharifi and Puerto Rico. I saw it, but he didn't change. With you, he was just coming straight. He don't have a side to side.
He can't fight backwards on side to side.
Right, and that's where you beat him.
And it would have been easier.
Well, when will you have a defense?
Probably October, November. We waiting on it now. You don't know.
You don't know he was your
Well, I
opponent.
got a WBC mandatory. Akari from France. Paris. The guy that had Akari.
And what about Roy Jones? Roy Jones thinks...
Well, he fights Saturday. Roy Jones want to fight me and fight me by the end of the year or the beginning of next year.
Because he's thinking that you are coming...
I hope so, but I'm not going to beg you. And then I put myself at it. It's posturing amongst 2 undisputed champions. And it's about money. You know, Roy wants to make the bar for the share. I want to make the fair share. And so, look, the guys that Roy fought compared to the guys I fought, I think everyone know that I fought the tougher guys. Roy is, when you don't sharpen, no matter how good your tools are, if you don't sharpen them, they'll sharp.
I followed the executioner from since your 6th fight.
Yeah.
And I knew you would have beat Trinidad. You know why? He was only going to study the heavy left hook and coming straight.
I took it away from him. I kept my right hand.
I know.
And I stayed over here.
Tell them why it's important to keep those hands up.
You got to keep the hands up at all times because one punch can change the fight in any round in any minute. With Trinidad, he's known for a left hook, right? I kept my right hand up just in case he catches me going to his right, because to take a guy left hook away from him or to take a girl's left hook, you go to your left. So you keep them churning. If I went this way, they had leverage to hit me with the left hook. Sometimes I had to back up and go that way, and I kept my right hand, and every time he made contact, I threw my left hand. So I stayed here most of the time, and then when I got trapped, steady fighting my way through and doing what he wanted me to do, I kept my right hand up to take him, bam, hit him back. And then he had to set up again, then I went the right way. But I stayed to his right to take his left hand away. So he's a good left hand, I stayed here. Because you can't hit me with that if I'm here. And that's how he had to always set. Trinidad can't fight like this. He can't move and slide. He's like this.
A straight coming.
He's straight. His feet, he got to set. And every time he do this, I watched the concentration and watching his feet and his eyes. Every time he did this, 1, 2, 3, I knew to move. It was a time, and every time he did like this, getting ready, he's getting ready to get leverage. And if you stay there, he's gonna knock your head off. So every time he did this, I took a step here. And he started all over again. I took a step here. And every time he did, I hit him pop, pop, and his head went back, pop, pop, and then I just picked it up. And then I just knocked him out.
Another question. Do you think money would bring him back out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Money brings the good and worst out of people.
They want to see you demonstrate some combination punch on the back.
Before you do that, as president of the St. Maarten Amateur Boxing Association, I would like to once more thank you for taking the time out and come out and meet the youngsters, our amateur.
It's a pleasure.
When Mr. Francis called me and told me that you wanted to meet the youngsters, I think it was a great honor. And as a token of appreciation, I would like to present this to you. It might not be as heavy and as great as the belts you have around your waist, but there's a lot of value to it, and that value is love. It's from the heart.
Inspiration.
That's correct, and inspiration. And I'm sure that all the youngsters of St. Maarten,
I want to take a
Let's
picture.
go home with my mantelpiece.
Come around and take a
No,
picture.
we're going to take about a bag. We're going right here. Come on, so I can show the trophy y'all gave me. I'm going to take this home, man. Have some life into you. Stand up, come on. Stand up. Big, Todd. You got 2 hours of training to do. Got to have some life in you, man. Got to have some life. Be motivated. Done? This one. I can't even get my hand in it.
it's a small thing, man.
Yeah.
Is it?
I give me the different.
Is it? Is it okay, Hop?
Listen.
Demonstration.
I'm old, I retired.
All right, I'm just going to work the combination. Somebody pull my pants up if they come down, man. I ain't got my blood on it. See, I'm throwing the jab, right? Everything, your coaches teach you that the jab is like the ruler. It's a measuring stick. It's not a punch that everybody look for to be the hard punch, but it's the punch to keep a guy off balance and to be able to set up other punches like combinations. So what I do, I sort of get in the cross position and I use my right foot and sort of bend it. So I can always be looking at a guy and be able to get out of the way. So I'm not straight up like this, but I'm down like a grasshopper. My butt is like down, like I'm sitting in the bucket. No, seriously, watch it. And you like this. See, that's because you better catch. Pernell Whitaker was real good at that. He'll be here, and he'll make a guy miss, and he'll be right to a point where he can move and pivot. Pivot with your feet, you turn and you pivot. But I'm just going to do the demonstration with the jab, the right hand, and then combination. And again, the hands always got to be up, and always have your head moving so you won't stand straight up and you can get hit too. So you always got to look at the bag as a bag got arms. So you can hit the bag all day like this. What is that? You ain't doing nothing but working. That's working. But always visualize that the bag got arms. So if you tell yourself consciously every time that the bag hit back, you'll do this. You'll be ducking. Every time you throw a punch, you're looking for the bag to hit you back. So you got to visualize that the bag got arms. So don't think I'm crazy when I'm doing this. I ain't punch drunk. I'm just blocking punches. I'm blocking his punches. In and out. I'm not flat-footed. I'm always got my back heel off the canvas. So I won't drag my feet. I can have speed doing it. I'm in and I'm out. See, I'm in and I'm out. And I'm sideways. I don't have my feet flat-footed. Then I gotta lift up. There's too much time. If he comes at me?
Yeah, aggressive. Run back to me.
If the guy come to me aggressive?
Yeah, he's a very aggressive coming together.
Jab.
That's it.
Jab.
Okay.
Steady back and straight up.
Yeah. Watch how I catch his left foot. It's having eye contact. I want him to throw left foot. A lot of times you want a guy to throw something so you can counter. Sometimes I sit in the pocket and dare him to throw left foot. Come in. Right back with mine. So you hear, and my reflexes, I know my reflexes is good. So I'm going to be right here when he comes. Pop. You throw the left foot. I'm going to counter my left foot. Same with the right hand. Right back. I roll with his right hand. Or I can catch it here. Catch it with my left, fire with my right.
I know that. That makes you
always got my hands up. I ain't dropping my hands like this. Every punch, I got my hands up at all times, because he can fire back out of desperation. You can hurt a guy, and he can be half knocked out and do this, and knock you down. So I'm constantly, always conscious of keeping my hands up at all times. Pop, 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 up. Pop, 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 up. Pop, 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 pop. Body shot. It hurts a lot of people. Off the jab. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Pop, pop.
Hopkins, he wants to take a picture with him. Come on.
Squad first.
Do it this way. We gotta do a mean picture, y'all. Come on.
Smiling too much here.
All right, let's do this one. Let's do this one. Stare now. Let's do the stare. This we gonna have fun. I'm gonna teach him how to.
Give me the stare again.
He wanted to get on the camera. He did. And still.
No smiling, Jerry. You need a referee there. Go back in, Jerry.
Box, man. We should box. You should.
Come in. Take a picture with him.
Come on, man.
Wait, not yet.
Hey, I want a picture with the two of them, please.
Shot up far.
Like, but I would like to have a picture with both you and Jerry. One, Jerry is always cooperative with the association. He's always there for the youngsters. So I find that you're here with great pleasure.
That's good. Anything y'all want, man. I'm here for y'all today. Hey, Pooh, give me a towel ready. You know I'm gonna spend. I don't need it now. Yo, do a little twist, look at the camera. Little twist. Now we're gonna do one like this.
Thank you, man.
That's a good wall picture for you. Thanks, man. Keep working, all right?
Oh, sorry, sweetheart.
Peace.
Peace.
Hello?
Okay. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to another edition of VIP. Yours truly, G Money, in the house, and we're here at Jerry's All Sports Gym. And I'm standing next to, ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed, don't get it twisted, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Bernard, the executioner, Hopkins. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, G Money, man? I'm glad to be here, man.
Real quick, they call you the people's champion, right?
That's right, the people's champion all around the world.
Now, you here on vacation. You got wifey sitting out front, the kids sitting out front, and you here putting on a boxing exhibition.
Yeah. Got to keep it real, dog. I mean, this is, I got fans all over the world, no matter if I'm in Puerto Rico, no matter if I'm in Philadelphia or St. Martin's, man. Love is everywhere, man, and they loving me here.
That's keeping it real. The man's on vacation, and he's here working out here in St. Martin, giving everybody an exhibition and talking to everybody. Real down-to-earth brother. But let's get into boxing right now.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Let's start it off. Felix Trinidad, the fight almost about a year now.
Yeah.
When you knocked that brother out.
Coming up on anniversary, September 29th, when I made history by destroying Felix Trinidad and putting him in retirement forever.
But let me get to something. You don't get the recognition like the Trinidads, the De La Hoyas, the Vargases. How come you don't get the recognition like them? A lot of people's like, Bernard who?
Yeah.
Saint Bernard?
Yeah.
Bernard
yeah,
King?
the dog, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's how I've been treated lately, like a dog, but people are respecting Bernard Hopkins right now, and they realize it now that that Bernard Hopkins is the true champion, Bernard Hopkins is the people's champion, and the industry might not respect me,
right,
but the people and the regular folk in San Martin and Philadelphia and around the states that follow boxing realize that Bernard Hopkins is the true champion. People like real people. The industry is what it is,
That's
and
true.
I have to be bigger than that, and I am.
That's true. Now, like I said before at the beginning when we started, this is the undisputed undisputed, which means he has all 3 belts. Now, there's only 3 other people right now in boxing that you can call undisputed. You, who else?
Lennox Lewis.
And Roy Jones.
And Roy Jones Jr.
And Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Chicken Jr. I added another name on there.
Since we're going to go into that, let's segue into Roy Jones. You have only 2 losses on your whole career.
Exactly.
One, your first fight ever.
In 1988.
Your first fight ever you lost.
Yes.
And then back in 95?
93.
93, sorry. You lost to Roy Jones in a 12-round decision.
Correct.
You want to avenge that loss?
Of course. I mean, every great athlete in any sport want to revenge a loss, especially when they know they could have done better. But I accept the loss 9 years ago, and I'm willing to show that I'm not the same fighter that I was in 93 that I am in 2002.
Right.
And my record and my achievements shows that. So Roy Jones Jr. realized that also, and that's why Roy Jones is being right now backed against the wall, and he's going to run out of options. He's going to run out of excuses because the media is having a field day with him.
Right.
He's fighting a guy named Clinton Woods this Saturday. They're going to mention my name on that network, on that station, and I'm going to be there watching on TV.
So if Roy Jones is watching right now, what would you tell Roy Jones?
I would tell Roy Jones to put down the corn, stop feeding your chickens because you're becoming a chicken. And I want to put lard and baking powder or whatever they put on chicken to fry it. I want to do that. But if Roy Jones really wants to fight and prove that he is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, because right now in the boxing world understands that it's Bernard Hopkins and it's Roy, and some believe it's Roy and then Bernard Hopkins. So the easy way to settle that is to have 2 undisputed champions that's debatable through the world, to put down or lay down.
Okay.
And I'm not laying down.
You're not laying down.
No, can't lay down.
Let's go back it up a little bit with Felix Trinidad. How come you made the boy retire?
Yeah.
You made the boy retire?
Yeah, I made him retire because I realized that a lot of people had a lot of faith in Trinidad, and they should. Trinidad was great up till the night of September 29th.
Right.
And he realized, and they realized, his father, most of the Puerto Rican people in San Juan realized that Trinidad met his match. And even though they're in denial, they just want Trinidad not to retire on the heels of the defeat that he suffered against me almost a year. Another 2 weeks would be a year.
So were you surprised at the retirement?
Yeah, I was surprised because being young, I think he's 29, maybe 28, only 1 loss out of 47 fights. But let's remember history. And history has shown that a fighter that goes and win 30-plus fights, 35, 40 fights, being undefeated, having his way, and run into his first loss, sometimes it does something mental to that fighter. He'll never be the same. So there are fighters who lost, Alexis Arguello, and other fighters who lost, couldn't rebound and couldn't accept the loss. They say they accept the loss, but their abilities in the ring when they return back looks diminished. It looks like he lost something. And when he fought Sharifi in February or March, it showed that he lost something September 29th.
He wasn't sharp.
So when you lose for the first time, a lot of that destroys a mental champion, a champion that's thrive off of mental, thrive off of heart and guts. And I believe I took a lot out of Trinidad mentally.
Now
I broke his spirit.
Yeah, you did. But let me tell you this. I'm gonna be honest with you. Going into the fight, I ain't give you a chance. Sorry to say, my brother. I ain't give you a chance. And a lot of other people didn't give you a chance.
A lot of millions of people.
But after I seen the press conference with the little flag incidents, I know this brother got some heart, and you came to play.
And not only did I come to show that I was serious, and a lot of things got out of hand, and I went back to San Juan, and I told the people there who invited me back with open arms, with love and respect, that things got out of hand, and I apologize to those who I offended, and I know I offended thousands and thousands of people, but I think that September 29th, when the 8th and 9th round came in Madison Square Garden, 2 weeks after 9/11, when people were scared to migrate in one area, we got 19,000 plus people to come to Madison Square Garden 2 weeks after 9/11, and around the 8th and 9th round, there had been over 14,000 Puerto Ricans there hollering Hopkins. They was hollering Tito earlier, but as they seen that the fight was coming to my side, they start hollering Hopkins, Hopkins, and that's all I wanted from day one, through the promotions, through the recognition,
of having 14 defenses,
Right.
and Trinidad making his first defense, no one paid attention to that I was making my 14th defense, and Tito was making his first defense, and nobody gave me credit for being there, and no one gave me credit for being one of the premier fighters of the world. And I wanted that respect by any means necessary. And a lot of things happened that at that point in time, I believe it was justifiable. But as time wore on, and as I went back to Philadelphia, and as I went to New York, and I went to Jersey, and I started seeing African-American people that I know, some that I didn't know. I'm glad we beat the Puerto Ricans. I did this, I did that. I seen that they took it another way.
Right.
And I knew then I had to be a man to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, this ain't a racial war.
Right.
Because I believe that Puerto Ricans and African Americans have a lot in common. Because I know when I went over to San Juan, I seen Spanish people just as dark as me and you, G-Money.
That's right.
And I realized that ain't no racial on my part. It was a promotional fiasco that got out of control, and I had to win that fight for a lot of reasons. To stay in boxing, because if I didn't, I would have been gone. They would have made it that way. It's hard for me to get fights now with 3 belts. Can you imagine if I didn't have a belt? It'd be hard to get fights. So I recognize that they respect me, and now I respect them.
Okay, you got the 3 belts. Where do you go from now? What's your next fight?
Well, I have a mandatory. When you have title belts, whether it's the WBO,
You gotta do the
whether it's the
mandatory.
WBC, the WBA, it doesn't mean the number 1 contender is good. It doesn't mean he's not good. But it means that I have to look at him as a Roy Jones, even though I know he's not. I have to look at every mandatory as a threat, because he could be hungry. He could just be sitting there just because it's convenient.
Right.
Maybe he had a good promoter. Maybe he had a promoter with a big pocketbook.
That's true.
Or deep pockets. So I have to realize that every fight that I fight at 37 years old, at the last year or 2 of my career, that I come too far to underestimate or lay back on the hill
right.
and not give a person respect to get in shape for. And I think the biggest disrespect to anybody that goes to a regular job in the ring is to disrespect your job.
Right.
When you disrespect your job, if you at a factory, if you at an automobile shop, or if you a lawyer and you in court, you don't practice, you fail.
You fail. So who was your mandatory fight?
A guy named Erling Batari from France. He's 25-3 with 18 knockouts. Typical European fighter, straight up and down. Has some skills, but don't have enough to beat Bernard Hopkins. And I will show that. And I don't want people to look at that as I'm fighting stiffs.
Okay.
The guy's the number 1 contender. If I don't fight him, what happened to Lennox Lewis
You lose your belt.
a couple days ago, for the viewers that don't know, Lennox Lewis just vacated his IBF championship belt because he feels that Chris Bird, which I disagree, is not a qualified
opponent for him.
So Lennox Lewis right now has only 2 belts. And right now,
So
yes, he's considered undisputed because he haven't lost it in the ring, but
Sort of like when Riddick broke through the other belt.
Riddick broke through the WBC in the garbage.
Now, when is this fight taking place? October?
My fight, late October, early November, when I get back to the States, by being in St. Martin's, they think I'm eating cheesecakes and all kinds
Chicken
of
leg
food
and
and chicken
Johnny
legs
cake.
and things like that, G-Money. They probably give me a fight within the next 4 or 6 weeks. But they don't know. Well, they probably know now if they're watching this or if they get this. I've been hanging out with Marcy. And Marcy is no joke.
No
Running
joke.
mountains. So, G-Money, I can know the date within a week being home at the States.
Do you have a site yet as where the
Well,
fight's
I do know that. That site will be in Philadelphia.
Okay,
My first title defense on a brand new 15,000 arena at Temple Stadium, Temple University.
All right.
Temple Owls.
Temple Owls. Now this next week, you got another big fight coming up. Not you personally.
Right.
But you got the Trinidad.
I will witness it. I will be there.
Trinidad Vargas fight.
Right.
You're going to see that fight.
At the Malady Bay in Vegas. Yes, I'll be there.
Now, 2 questions. Who would you like to see to win the fight? And who do you want to fight from that fight?
Well, for $25 or $20 million, I would like to see De La Hoya win it because I have agreement to fight De La Hoya if he wins and if he agreed to fight me. $15 million if Vargas wins, if Vargas agreed to fight me, which we don't have his signature yet.
Right.
But I'm rooting for De La Hoya because De La Hoya has the looks, I have the other looks, and we can make a lot of money.
Okay.
So I think that De La Hoya, being a popular guy in the Mexican
American, right?
American, in the media, they support De La Hoya and all the women like him. And let me tell you something.
they buy pay-per-view. And you know, pay-per-view is always banked on De La Hoya, and he always came through. He does big numbers in pay-per-view.
Yeah. Speaking of pay-per-view and money-wise, I was reading like an article about you trying to get your money's worth. They want to pay the Vargases, the Trinidad's X amount of money. You got 3 belts, they want to pay you chump change. What's up with that?
They want to. Well, it's easy. They want the balance in their pocket. And then, you know, it's. I'm not saying it's a criminal thing. I think it's a thing that happens. And if you don't fight, if you don't be firm, then they will win. I think the fight starts in the negotiating table, and then the physical fight is easy. I can handle that.
All right.
See, I trained 7-8 weeks. I'm away from my wife. I'm away from my daughter. The easiest part to do in boxing is to go in the ring and execute my abilities to do what I have to do. But the challenge comes from waiting, posturing, negotiating. It's like playing poker, you know? But I realize what hand I have, and my hand is a flush hand. I got all aces. As long as I play my aces, I know the jacks can't beat me.
Now, what's the possibility of maybe, I'm gonna throw this out there, the possibility of you having a fight here in St. Martin?
The possibility of me fighting in St. Martin is if you say something wrong to me, we'll fight right now.
Let me keep my mouth closed right now. Well, I don't want to hold you back anymore, you know what I'm saying? You're definitely the people's champion. You're here on vacation. You enjoy St. Martin?
I love St. Martin, man. I'll be back again. I'm hanging out with a couple of realtors, man, and hey, look, man, I got $250,000 to spend, man, without a blink, man, and get something up on the mountains. Invite you up, invite everybody up, and we'll train. I love St. Martin's. I've been to St. Thomas, which is an hour flight from here.
Right.
But St. Martin's, man, I heard a lot about it. It's my first stop. I mean, I got attacked and killed by a couple of mosquitoes, but I should have known. This is mosquito season. They told me I should have called before I came. But I'm glad I came, and I love St. Martin's. They gave me plenty of props. Front page on the Today's paper. Thank everybody at Today's paper, the editor, everybody that was in charge of doing that. And thank everybody at the Recreation Center here. Thank all the kids. Thanks for the trophy, and God bless. I look to be back in January and February after I get my 16th defense. Late October, early November. Stay tuned, G-Money. Keep you informed, and we'll be right back.
VIP right here.
VIP.
That's right. At Jerry's Gym, we're here with the People's Champion. The man's on vacation. He's here working out here. Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. Fade to black.
3, 2, 1.
Listen up. This is the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. The best. You're watching G-Money on St. Martin's, Channel 6. Good?
Okay, stand by.
Hold on 1 second. I think I unplugged the wrong mic. Hold on.
Bernard Hopkins, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. When I'm in St. Martin's, I watch Channel 6 with G-Money on VIP. See, I'll duck my punches. I know how to talk.
I won't see you, but I do train fighters. I retire now.
Okay. This is Bernard Hopkins, the middleweight champion of the world, undisputed. And when I'm in St. Martin's, I watch Channel 6 on G-Money, VIP. Watch, I'm gonna do it over again. Give me. This is Bernard Hopkins, the middleweight champion of the world. And when I'm in St. Martin's, I watch Channel 6 with G-Money on VIP. It's a knockout. Memo.
First of all,
You're working hard. You're the next champ, brother.
okay. Thanks.
Bernard, when you were in Bar, I'll be there until 9, all right?
Yeah, okay.
Bernard, when you were in
I'll wait for you if you're a little late. Don't worry about it.
Did you meet with Julian Jackson right there?
Yeah, the Hawk. Yeah, St. Thomas. You remember Julian Jackson?
Yeah.
Middleweight.
Yeah.
Hard puncher. Him and Jerome McCullum.
I used to work out with him.
Original. Strong. He was my biggest threat when I was coming through. He was on his way out.
He had a real tough time with this promotion.
God King. God, Carl was his manager, wasn't he?
Yeah, ran him into the...
He ain't never made no money.
See y'all. Nice meeting you.
Let Daddy carry down the stuff.
I got a treat. You can order in the car. All right, y'all.
Bon appetit. You're going to a good restaurant.
That nigga Marcy is vicious, man. She got me running her mouth.